And why are you doing it? Why are you cycling?
Why?
Yeah.
Just funny.
Just funny.
Morning, guys. So yesterday we obviously didn't ride because the weather was predicted to be bad, and it probably wasn't as bad as we thought it was, but today is definitely as bad as we thought it was. So the headwind is unbelievable. Kind of getting blown around as we do this. We are now going to wait it out, and if I do that, which I can afford to do right now, the wind will then be behind me following that, but it means that I need to do an Olympic finish of like 3 days at 100 miles each day to reach the end on the day that I expected and reach the warm showers host as well. So, watch your space.
Okay, so I am here somewhere. There I am. Today is going to be a bit of a different vlog because the weather's been so bad and the sun's just briefly come out, so I've come outside to do some filming. There's been some footage and some people that we met that we didn't get a chance to explain about at the time because we needed to explain their stories a bit in a bit of context, and we only had a few video clips of them here and there. So that's what today is. I'm going to go through some of the footage that we got and explain some of it and go into more detail about it. And then generally just go through about the kindness that we've received on the trip and the effect on myself and Nahala that's had. Okay, so our first stop is back in vlog 6 and 7, which is such a long time ago now. We ended the vlog after Nahala got off the bike, and we didn't actually get a chance after this to kind of put some context to what happened next. This is Nahala walking into the park, and one of the first things they said to us was that the first beers were on them and that they'd ordered pizza. There were so many nice people there, and Nahala really enjoyed the pizza. And that evening we met a South Korea guy called Young, and he had cycled from New York down to Miami and then had come across west all the way across to Arizona or New Mexico, where this was, I think Arizona, and he was headed towards California. And he was cycling about 100 to 120 miles a day, completely solo. And I asked him why he was doing it. Young has cycled from New York, is that right? From New York, he went down to Miami, and then across to here, and then he's going to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
He's from South Korea. And why are you doing it? Why are you cycling?
Why?
Yeah.
Just funny.
Just funny. And that's it. He just said it's just funny, and I asked him about it afterwards, and he was just doing it for fun. There was no cause behind it. There was no charitable organisation behind it. He just wanted to go and explore the world. And Young literally could only speak the odd sentence of English. You know, he just wanted to travel and see what life was about in America. We gave him some inner tubes and some food. He had only had 4 inner tubes the entire journey so far, and he was so grateful for the new inner tubes because he'd just been patching up his previous ones, and he took out the inner tubes and they literally had like maybe 15 different like patches on the inner tubes, which is crazy. Something amazing that happened with Young is we were sat there for dinner with him, and we were trying to have conversation. We don't speak South Korean, and he spoke very little English. And it turned out that another guest who was staying at the park was also Korean. And there was a magical moment when Young and this other guy said hello to each other in their own home, their mother tongue, and his face just lit up and they had conversation, and you could see how excited he was to talk to someone who spoke his language. So we're going to do a quick run through of the splogs and talk about the people on the way that had been super kind. Now, there are lots of people that didn't make the splogs, and it's something that personally I found a bit difficult, is how to film these interactions with people when it's just spontaneous. I just had a guy literally just come up to me, Jehovah's Witness, who was talking to me about that and that religion and how it's very similar to being kind to everyone, but it wasn't appropriate for me to grab the camera and point it in his face. It's been difficult trying to document some conversations and some interactions when you don't want to shove a camera in people's face, because it just makes people uncomfortable. Okay, so first up we have Paul and Jeff that we met first of all in San Diego, and their flat that looked over San Diego Bay, can't remember what the bay's called, and the airport. They were so kind. They were our first warm showers host, and it meant the world to us that we had someone with like a roof over our heads. It was the first American people we really had a chance to get to know, and they were just so nice. Okay, next up is a favourite in the splogs, and that is Tracy. We first met Tracy, she was with a guy called Martin, riding the first leg of her cross-country trip, and yeah, she's just been very inspirational and very helpful for Nahala to ride with sometimes. You know, if we ride ahead a couple of days, then we'll give Tracy advice about the roads, and if Tracy rides ahead, she'll just tell us whether the roads were good or bad, or whether she stayed somewhere nice, whatever. Thank you so much. I do hope you're tuning in. I know you're almost there now, so best of luck with the rest of the ride. Deborah and Gary, you were amazing. Warm showers hosts, so they put us up for free. It was just incredible, and we couldn't believe how kind you were. When you heard that Nahala hadn't quite made it to your house, Deborah came and cycled with Nahala, and it was the first time really that Nahala had company while cycling, and it was a huge thing for Nahala, you know, to actually have someone there with you to talk to. I had some quality time with Gary. He showed me how to eat Mexican food properly.
A lot of tortillas.
We played golf together, which was awesome as well, and Nahala and Deborah went in for, I think, like the hot tubs or for a swim, and we were both so grateful for that. And you had us for 2 nights in the end, which was so kind, so thank you. We hope many more cyclists come and stop by your restaurant. It was beautiful and a lot better than the food we got at the Mexican border, so thanks again. Keep up those acts of kindness. You've donated so many now, so thank you for those, Deborah. We look forward to hearing many more acts of kindness that you get up to. Back in Splog 20, we had this sunset. Looking over Del Rio, it was a gorgeous place to go, and we only found it because we went into a Taco Bell, the first ever Taco Bell we'd both been to, so we were like, what's it going to be like? And we met a guy called Kevin behind the counter. His hospitality and openness to foreigners that had never been to a Taco Bell before, and then when we asked, you know, where's good to go, he gave us this spot and said the sunset's amazing from up there, and you can see across the town into Mexico. We wouldn't have found the spot if it wasn't for Kevin, so thank you so much for that. Now, next up is a very special one, Chuck and Becky and their dog Hershey. Nahala just had a really rough ride, and we were sat in this gas station doing some editing and other work, and then you turned up with your dog Hershey, and we said in the blog that we'd talk more about it, and I suppose this is that time. Nahala's currently resting, so hence why she's not joining me right now. It was interesting to hear about your lives and what makes you guys happy. Basically, Chuck is a truck driver, and they go all over the US, and they just live in that truck, and they've got it all set up really nice in there. They have Hershey for company. It's so interesting to hear how little they need to be happy. You know. Next up is Jose. He stopped to give Nahala some water. he then drove on to the next rest stop where we thought we were going to stop, and he wrote a little note with the water bottle. Next up on the long list here is the people of Brenham in Starbucks. The whole team there was so kind. I came into the shop originally and spoke about Sunshine People, and it was then when Nahala came in later, it was like she was a superstar. Then we met the kids at the Space Centre on their school trip. All were super nice. Everybody say hey. Hey! Just recently we met Gavin at the Greek restaurant. I said he was the manager, but I've been corrected. He is the owner of that restaurant. He was just unbelievably kind.
Can you do that?
Awesome!
Oh, another act of kindness!
Treated us to lunch, and then took us to the place for a shower and to get all washed up and stuff. And yeah, just, you were kind beyond words, so thank you. I think that wraps up all of the things I wanted to go through. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you didn't make this vlog or you didn't make the list. There's a fair amount of footage to go through, and we have met so many kind people on this trip that we can't name them all. As I said, we don't film every interaction we have, but generally there's been plenty of kind people on this trip, and it's been amazing to experience that.